Hello viewers, a warm welcome to you. I'm back with episode 6 of this Bristol Rovers career mode save, and we start today's episode of 4 matches with a trip to Fratton Park as we take on Portsmouth. Now, a slight change to the structure in this episode. In previous videos we've really not been getting through a lot of games. There's been a lot of detail in terms of the highlights shown, but in fact in one episode we only had one game to show. So this time around I'm going to be showing just the goals, 1 or 2 key highlights if any, and we're going to get 4 games in. I'd really like any feedback on this structure, to be fair. It would be really appreciated whether or not I should stick to this way or go back to the old way, or maybe retain that detail in games but then skip between a few games so you don't always see. But obviously that would mean that, like I say, you will be missing out on some games. So yeah, any feedback would be much appreciated on that. So let me know down in the comment section what you think. But looking back onto the pitch, we finished last episode in 2nd place. Despite beating Wigan Athletic away in 1st place, we then lost to Blackpool, which was really disappointing, but expectations are still being well and above and beyond met, so really pleased so far. So jumping straight into the Portsmouth game, this was the lineup. Just one change to the side that got beat against Blackpool. Ben Brereton came in up top just to freshen things up in replacement for Devante Cole. As I say, he started very well this season, Devante Cole, but so has Ben Brereton. We just wanted to freshen things up really, and I felt that was the right decision. Speaking of Ben Brereton, it wasn't until late on in the first half when we finally broke the deadlock at Fratton Park. Ben Brereton running in all the way, going on a solo run. He goes to pass, defender blocks it, then the defence just falls asleep. Brereton latches onto it and finishes beautifully. I'm not quite sure what happens there. The AI just having an absolute nightmare, really. I think that's the best way we can describe it. But yeah, Brereton repaying the faith of the manager late on in the first half, and yeah, it was a good start for us at a tough ground to play at. A corner for the Gas in the 56th minute. It's cleared away relatively easy, but only out to Lockyer. Lockyer feeds it back to Lee Brown. Brown, after cutting inside, finds Tyler Walker. His weedy header is saved, and Liam Sercombe is there to mop up the rebound, totally unmarked, and he runs over to the away fans in celebration, making it 2-0 to Bristol Rovers in the 58th minute. Sercombe obviously came into the side in the previous episode, and yeah, he's played fairly well so far. A lot more of that to come, believe me. Only 2 minutes had passed since our last goal, and Dye wins the ball back fairly high at the pitch. He loops it over to Ben Brereton, who nods it on to Tyler Walker. Walker finds a run of Sercombe. Sercombe goes through one-on-one and finishes nicely, and that is match signed, sealed and delivered. A resounding win for Bristol Rovers in the toughest of circumstances, coming off a loss, going to a tough ground and playing against a tough side, and we get the 3 points and a really nice goal to go along with that. And a shout out to substitute Tyler Walker as well, who has now set up both of Sercombe's goals. I do actually want to point out that shortly after the goal I press the start button and have a look at the settings to make sure that there's nothing magically changed with the CPU, because I'm finding it so easy. But as you can see here, it was all standard really. There was nothing changed, so I don't quite know what was happening in the end. I suppose Portsmouth were just having an off day, and yeah, that led to it ending up a 3-0 victory. I was really pleased with that, as you can imagine. And also a special shout out to Liam Sercombe as well, as you can see there, getting a 9.4 rating and the man of the match. But straight into the next game. This was the lineup. Only one change to the team that started the last game against Portsmouth, and that was Tyler Walker coming in on the right to replace Byron Moore. Understandably so, because he set up both of the goals, and I felt like his performance warranted another start. This time we saw ourselves up against Plymouth at home, and as you can see, it wasn't until the second half when the deadlock was broken against the run of play. Jake Jervis found Fox, who Agogo couldn't latch onto in terms of his run, and he finishes very nicely really. It's a good finish, slightly poor defending, and the reason for that is, in particular, which you might see more of, is that after the Ports game I sort of noticed the way we were playing when we were putting it on Portsmouth, and I've decided to alter the tactics to the point where, you know, we're pressing high now, and that might mean that a lot of positions are going to get vacated so that we can, you know, put it on teams more, and I feel like that's going to be, you know, more entertaining both to play and to watch. I opt to utilise all 3 subs shortly after, as I feel like we need to now put the game onto Plymouth and get the win from a losing position. Devante Cole comes on. This time he's out on the right though, in replacement for Tyler Walker. Harrison Dunk comes on for Billy Bowden, and also Stuart Sinclair makes his return to the team in replacement for Undayi, all 3 of whom were low on fitness. Despite my capture card's best attempts, you will see the equaliser here and the deserved one. Devante Cole gets the ball, and just watch this run. He just keeps running and running and running. Goes all the way, and it's a lovely, lovely goal. What a finish from him. A fantastic run, and really pleased with my substitution there, of course. Before we find out whether or not we can get the winner, let's just admire this Devante Cole goal. I was really pleased with it, and as you can imagine, was definitely not going to skip the replay. In the 88th minute, Smith recoups the ball, he throws out to Devante Cole, and the rest is history. Cole lays it into other substitute Harrison Dunk, and we get the winner. It is 2-1 in the 90th minute, and of course the fans are going wild. Dunk runs straight to the corner flag, and what a way to finish off the game and earn the 3 points. Devante Cole in particular comes on and changes the game with his running. He's actually got, you know, 94 pace. I mean, I think it's 95 sprint speed, 91 acceleration. So you can tell, obviously, if I put him on the right, there's one thing he's going to do, and that's just to run at people. And you know, and he's going to get away with that, especially in this division where players are generally slightly slower than perhaps the Premier League. So on that note, it does reach full time. A 2-1 win for Rovers once again, which actually puts us back into top spot in the division as my manager shakes hands with another version of himself. And obviously there's only one candidate for man of the match, and that is substitute Devante Cole, a 9.3 rating, which was thoroughly deserved. And also a side note, it does say, you know, Plymouth had much more shots. It looks like they dominated, but it really didn't feel like that. It felt like we was in control of the game and we deserved to win, you know. So we'll take it really, any 3 points. A shout out to right back Daniel Ledbetter, who won Player of the Month for September. He's been brilliant really. It could have been any one of my 4 defenders. They've been ever present. They've been brilliant. But, you know, he won it. We have a Checkatrade Trophy game away at Barnet. Sim that. Next up was an away game against Northampton Town. I was expecting another tough game here, and I know I say this quite a lot. In fact, almost every game I say it, but I do feel like it rings true. The lineup, 3 changes to the team that started the last game against Plymouth. Devante Cole and Harrison Dunk obviously coming on either wing in place for Billy Bowden and Tyler Walker, but also Broadbent came in for Tom Lockyer, who was actually away on international duty with Wales, which is really frustrating, but you know, we have to make do with that. It takes Rovers less than 4 minutes to break the deadlock. Liam Sercombe gets the ball in inches of space, but finds the loop over the top ball to Harrison Dunk, who finishes off beautifully after some really nice control, and he runs over to the away fans, and it is a great start for Rovers. Wasn't expecting this at all, but we put it on them early. I think actually what I mentioned earlier, the change of tactics, we're pressing them more, we're attacking them more. You know, I think it's really working for us. You know, we've got a lot of pace and skill in our team, you know, so we should be direct, and I think that's what's gonna pay off in future matches. I'm usually quite a defensive player on FIFA, but I just felt like this time, you know, I wanted to change it up, and I hope that's going to work for us. After dropping deep, Ben Brereton comes inside. He finds the run of Liam Sercombe, who manages to draw some space in the middle, and it's a lovely finish once again. And inside just 10 minutes, it is now 2-0 to the Gas. A fantastic start for us, and Northampton already have it all to do. We've really outclassed them so far, and they just don't know what's hit them. Liam Sercombe once again popping up like he did in the first match of the episode against Portsmouth with a nice finish, and there's more of that to come. Into the second half now. After some easy possession amongst the defence, the ball's come up to Agogo. He finds Sercombe. No freestyle skill moves, no problem. He just runs past Regan Paul and fires an exquisite effort into the back of the net. Really pleased with that effort. Really nice build-up play as well. That's the sort of thing we're wanting to see in these future episodes and games. And Sercombe, once again, can he get his hat-trick now? That is the question. Looking back at the replays, it was actually a really nice finish. Hard to admire from the normal telly angle, because if he gets it any further to the side, it would actually hit the post. So yeah, there's no chance of the goalie getting that. Perhaps a spark of a resurgence for Northampton. Chris Long finds himself with the ball out wide. He cuts it back to Hoskins. Hoskins lays it off to Grimes, who rifles it into the back of the net, into the top right hand corner, and Northampton possibly find themselves on the comeback. Or is it just a consolation goal for them? There's only one man Harrison Dunt's corner can find at this point, and it's the hat-trick hero, Liam Sercombe, popping up out of nowhere. Not often does, well, never does he score headed goals from corners, but this time he proves all the doubters wrong and he gets his hat-trick, and it is thoroughly deserved, and we round off a resounding win. Liam Sercombe in this episode just couldn't do anything wrong really. Even in these situations, he's still beating two centre halves to get to the ball first. Granted, it is aided in by the goalkeeper, but nevertheless, he does fantastically well to get that on target and to get to the ball in the first place, and he's absolutely loving life, along with the gas heads in the away end. That rounds it off to full time now, and the man of the moment, as you can see now, collects his match ball after a fantastic display. 9 shots somehow. I'm not quite sure where they got that from. I really can't recall having 9 shots with him, but nevertheless, he got his hat-trick, and that's all that matters. And obviously, he gets man of the match with a 10 rating, and absolutely dominated Northampton, as you can see. The fourth and final match of the episode saw us take on Oxford United at home. Again, another good side, and only one change to the starting lineup from last game against Northampton. That was Tom Lockyer returning to the side from international duty, thankfully. And as you can see, his rating, 70 rated. He's really shining so far this season. Long may it continue. Oxford suffer a scare early on as Musinho is found messing about a bit at the back. Cole steals it off him, runs through, but hits a post. Very unlucky. Oxford United's joy, however, doesn't last long. In the 19th minute, Brereton gets the ball. He tries to hold it up, does so well, and despite his attempts to get into a crossing position, he gives it back to Leadbitter. Leadbitter lays it off to Agogo, who finds who else but the man, Liam Sercombe himself. Another goal for him in another game, and he's on absolute fire at the moment. And once again, despite the fact that it does take another helping hand from the goalkeeper, like the third goal in the last game, he still does brilliantly well to get into that position. He spots the run and gets it on target, and that is all you can ask for, really. Ndai intercepts Mowatt's overhead kick clearance, and his ambitious effort hits the post once again. There's a common theme in this episode, and that's either Liam Sercombe scoring or Devante Cole running. Now it is the latter. He finds Ben Brereton's run, who is unmarked. A nice finish, makes it 2-0 to the home team, and that is surely game, set and match. I'm really hoping, based on the highlights you're seeing here, that we've now found our tactic, our style, and the basis of an 11 team that's going to be settled for the season, because so far it's been working really well, and long may it continue. That brings us to full time. A good 2-0 win at home against Oxford United. We couldn't have so much more. A clean sheet and a comfortable win, a good performance, and the 3 points to go with it. Liam Sercombe once again man of the match. He's been absolutely fantastic this episode. I mean, the title is, a Liam Sercombe Masterclass, but however, a shout out because it could so easily have gone to Devante Cole. He was also performing extremely well. just running past people really, and it really helped us on our way, so a shout out to him as well. 4 wins in 4 games saw a very healthy looking league table for the Gas, top of the division by 5 points clear of both MK Dons and Wigan, who have really dropped off the boil in recent weeks. We've conceded the least, we've scored the most, and we're way ahead on points. The most wins, we're performing fantastically well so far, and hopefully this can continue and we can form a promotion challenge. On that note, it is time to end the video. If you've made it through to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Episode 7 will be out by the end of the week if you're watching on the date or the week of recording this, and also some other stuff coming as well, more wish lists and Ultimate Team stuff on top of that. So thank you very much for watching. Do let me know in the comments any feedback in terms of the structure of what I said, or anything else for that matter, anything at all really appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Bromway Team, and I'll see you soon.